Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cherno and welcome to episode 24 of Network Chat Programming. Alrighty, so today we're going to talk about basically handling multiple clients, and the awesome news is that essentially after this episode you guys are going to basically have an entire chat program ready to go. Okay, it's pretty much the end of the series. I'm probably going to put in a few more things that you guys wanted me to, but essentially after this episode we're pretty much done, right? It's a functional application. There is one more crucial thing we need to do after, which is handling the disconnection of clients. But after today, you guys are going to be able to send messages to each other, and you can give this to your friend and it will work, and you guys can actually talk remotely. So just for a preview of what we've got now, if we go to our server main class, and I'll just leave it here. I'll put it right over here maybe. If I launch that, and that launches our server, of course, you can see that if we launch our login, oops, I launched that twice. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, let's get rid of one of them. Okay, and I go yarn localhost 8192, hit login, and you can see that we log in here. But the important thing is that we've connected to our server and we can type stuff in. But that's essentially where we're up to right now, right? But what happens is the server, as you can see with this, it receives all this stuff, but it doesn't really transmit it to other clients. And we're kind of, well, actually it does transmit it to other clients, but our clients don't receive it correctly. Okay, so essentially what I'm saying to you guys is if I launch another instance of this, and I'll call this one Cherno localhost 8192, log in, then we've now got two instances, and this is probably going to be hard to see for you guys, but if I say something on this instance, you know, like hey, it's not going to show up on the other instance. And likewise, if I say, you know, what's up over here, it's not going to show up over here, okay? And we're going to basically make it show up so that you guys have a chat program to do, to deal with, essentially. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I guess, the client, right? So the client is what essentially all of the behind the scenes networking for the actual client window, that's where it all happens, right? And inside over here, we've got this method here called receive, right? What this does is it receives any inbound packet and it returns it as a string, okay? That's what it does. And then that, of course, is used in the, where is it? That, of course, is used in client window where we have this listen method. So sorry, the client is the kind of networking stuff, and then client window is the interface. So that's in client, right? There's a method called listen, and as you can see here, it runs the client.receive method. Now, if the message starts with the C, so in other words, our little C kind of prefix, which indicates that it is in fact a connection packet, so in other words, a connection should be established here. That's why we have this successfully connected thing. Then well, we're good, okay, in a sense. And we're good in the sense that, you know, we can connect if we get that kind of packet. However, what we should handle is else if the message starts with, you know, a /m/, because that's our prefix for an actual message. If we go back to our server here and we look at our, I think we've got a thing here called send to all or something. Send to all, right? It actually, oh, okay, it actually just transmits it. So in other words, if we go back to our client here, or our client window, when we send something, and we've got a message here, you can see that our message receives a prefix of this /m/, okay? /m/. So over here where we've got this /m/, we know that it's a message, that it's text that all of our clients should actually receive. So what we can do over here is say something along the lines of, well, first of all, what we want to do is, I guess, we'll make a string message here. No, we won't call it message, that's stupid. We won't be able to actually. We'll call it text. So message dot split, and then we'll use the regex of m, and we'll use the pipe symbol, of course, to indicate the or kind of in the regex, so that we actually well, we divide it by both of them, we split it by both of them, and then we'll pick one again. Okay, so it's the same thing that we did over here, okay, to separate it. Basically, this will just extract the text from amongst everything else. So now we've got the text here, and all we need to do now is kind of send it to the console, right? So we'll send it to the console like this. This is great, okay, and it's going to work for a lot of it. But it's not going to work in one situation, okay? Well, it is going to work, but it's just not going to work like we want it to in one situation. And that is, since this send to all method that we have in server, right? This send to all method, since that sends it to every single client in this, where is it? Where's that? In this client's array list, since it sends it to everything, it will send it to the source, okay? So in other words, if I'm talking to someone and I send a message, I'm going to get that message back to myself, all right? Now, you guys could do a very, very simple little thing. You could do something along the lines of if our current ID, so if our client.getID, is equal to, say, the message.getID. So in other words, when we get the packet, when we get the message, we could split it. We could enclose the ID of a client, and we could do it that way. If that is the case, then, continue. We could do something along the lines of that. But what I'm actually going to do is just make sure that instead of posting our message straight away to the console when we type it, we're going to let the server take care of that rather than the client. So you guys know right now, if we type a message and we hit enter, which happens in over here, I think. Where's our enter key? Okay, if we hit the enter, it's going to send this. And over here, you can see that this send actually goes console message, right? So what it does is it prints our message to the console. Let's not make the client do that whatsoever. Let's delete that entire line. And so now we're not going to get any feedback from the client, only from the server. Okay, so when we send something to the server, it only gets printed in our history if the server replies with it. Okay, and the reason that's really cool is it verifies that there is actually a connection with the server. Okay, because obviously if we don't get that packet back, something's wrong, and that I think is really awesome. And that's also good in the sense that if you lose the connection to the server, you won't like accidentally send a message thinking the other person got it, but they actually didn't, okay? So this is like a really cheap, easy way of handling and ensuring that there is an actual active connection that's working. So that's pretty much it, right? This will pretty much work, right? So if we launch, actually our server's still running, so we can go ahead and launch our client login window here twice. I'll launch 2 instances of this, right? So we've got our first one over here and our second one over here. Call this one yarn localhost 8192. This one I'll call Cherno localhost 8192. Hit login for both of them. You can see they both successfully connect here, which is wonderful. And then what I want to do here is just type in something like hey. Okay, and we get a response. We actually get 2 responses, and over here we get 2 responses. Okay, that's weird. What's up? Okay, so we're getting multiple responses, which is kind of weird. Okay, now we're getting 3 responses. So we must be adding another client somewhere else. Yeah, okay, we are. Let's go back to our, I wonder why that's happening. Let's go back to server, and I think if we go to clients, so we should be adding it right over here, right? The clients.add, and we are. So maybe we're adding it somewhere else. That's probably the best bet. And yeah, we are. Okay, that's pretty stupid. So in the receive thing after we process the packet, which is what's supposed to add it if it starts with C, right over here, this line. Apparently we also do it up here. Okay, that must have been when I was testing it. So let's actually just get rid of this clients.add. I'm probably going to get rid of this text as well. And that's this text right here is just this text. Okay. This one right here, right? I'm probably just going to get rid of that because we don't need it. Kind of a debugging thing. And then if I run, let's just restart the server as well here. If I run the entire thing again, so including the server main, and I will also run okay, so that's started. Let's run 2 login instances here, or 2 instances of the client. And we'll have, yarn over here, localhost 8192. I am very narcissistic, as you guys can see. Yarn and Cherno. All right, doesn't matter. Narcissist Cherno. It's just a test. Okay. All right, so hey, and as you can see, what's up, bro? We get some perfect kind of correlation here. It appears on both clients. Dude, what is even up? We should catch up soon. Anyway, I've spent hours personally talking to myself like this because it's very entertaining. And that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode, okay? And you guys, as you can see, you've got a pretty good connection here, as in, well, in the sense that you've got a you've got an awesome connection here in between the 2 client windows, and it all works. And this will in fact work on your entire network over the entire internet, okay? If you do start the server on a port such as 8192, please remember to port forward that through your router if you plan to use it outside of your internal network. Otherwise, if your router blocks that port, which it probably will, you won't be able to connect to the server and you'll probably cry. So make sure you do that. I might do a bit of a tutorial on setting this up to run on maybe even a Linux server or something along those lines, as well as just at home if you want to launch it on your Windows computer at home. You know, go to school, go to university, go to work, whatever, and you want to kind of keep that server going at your house, and you want to get people to connect to it while they're somewhere else. Then I'll teach you guys how to do that. Perhaps if you guys want, please leave a comment, right? If you guys want me to do that kind of stuff, so that I can see if it's worth my time, essentially. And also the other thing is, the one thing that we haven't covered that's really important is the disconnection of clients. If I choose to close one of these windows and it's gone, the server actually thinks that it's still up. So if I do something like, hey, it's actually going to try and send it to the other server, and the packet's going to get lost, and there's just no need to do that. And worse still, if I connect again, we'll have problems. Okay, so currently we have 2 clients in this array list, even though I got rid of one of them. So if we go to client window, if we go into server, this client's array, it still has a size of 2, right? There's still 2 server client objects in that array, even though we've just gotten rid of one of them. So we need to deal with closing it, okay? And the way that we can see if there's 2 of them is if we put something along the lines of, I think I'll put this up here somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, that's what we're going to do in manage clients, actually. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Well, not in a minute. We'll talk about this next episode. But this manage clients is where we're going to be doing the managing, okay? Now, the reason we have to manage it is because of 2 things. One, when the user closes the program, it's cool, right? Like, as soon as they press that little close button, you know, this little close button here, we can do something, right? We can actually listen for that and say that, okay, if the user closes the button, then they are disconnecting. Or if they hit Command Q or they go over here and hit quit, we can actually manage that, right? But if they shut down their computer, like without closing this, or they force a shutdown, or I don't know, the power plug of their desktop pulls out and they've got no battery and it just crashes, or they get a blue screen of whatever, you know, for some reason, or they go into Task Manager and they terminate the process. For whatever reason, if it doesn't close cleanly, obviously the application is not going to be able to send that disconnect signal, and thus we have to continually check to see if the client is still actually there physically, right? They might be gone. And that's what we'll cover next episode, different types of disconnections. But as for this, if we go into, I think there's a nice little system.out that prints the number of... okay, here we go. So in while running, I've just put a little system.out.println clients.size, which prints the amount of clients. Of course, I've got 2. You can see it's printing it here. If I was to... Let me just pull this up so that you guys can see. You can see it's printing 2. And you know, right now, of course, you just saw me close the other one. I've only got 1 running. If I start another one here and log in, and I don't know, the Cherno this time. Local host 8192. Log in. Then you can see we've got 3 now. Okay, we've got this little 3 here, and that's I don't know if you guys can see that. We've got this little 3 here now, right? And that's bad because that means that it's the server thinks there are 3 clients, but there are not. So we need to handle disconnection, and we'll cover that next episode. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Network Chat Programming. If you did, please hit the like button below, leave a comment letting me know whether you want to see that kind of server stuff after I cover disconnection next episode, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to quickly show you guys this, because if you are having problems with the stuff, which you might be, if you are having problems with these episodes, I have a lovely website here called thecherno.com. If you go to the forums section and you go down into network chat programming, you can see that a few people have posted here. Make a new topic here. You're going to have to log in here. If you go to register, if you're not a member yet, we'll go ahead register. If you are, go ahead click login. If you're not, and then once you go to forums into network chat programming, you'll be able to see this wonderful little new topic button. Click that. Type out your problem, you know, include any code. You'll have to log in first, obviously, to post. But, you know, go ahead and post into that forum, and someone will help you, okay? Me, probably. But maybe there's the wonderful thing about this is everyone seems to be helping each other, so I don't even have to step in. Like, game programming is obviously the most popular one with like 216 posts now, but network chat programming, if you guys need help, you can see every topic here gets answered, which is awesome. But that's going to wrap up this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.